but I got no answer for my wonder. In lonely nights I stay up ponder, lonely drinking, slowly sinking. A million miles from you, what was I thinking? Hope it's not too late to roll to you. Rest upon your breast.
Hey everybody, it's Dwayne. Happy to be back in the barn and talk a little WWE. It's Wrestlemania season, the granddaddy of them all, the show of shows. It's Saturday and Sunday, headlined, of course, on Sunday by the big title unification match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. We'll get to that in just a bit. For the lapsed fan who hasn't been paying attention, I want to step back for a second because the first match I want to talk about that I think will be the first match of the night on Saturday night is going to get a little bit of a heel turn right off the bat because as you recall back at the Royal Rumble, Shane McMahon booked himself a little strong in the match. It led to some conflict with his father, who ended up sending him home and seemingly out of the WWE. But rumors are now that Shane is going to make an appearance at WrestleMania on Saturday. And I think that sets up well because last Monday, Seth Rollins had a meeting with Vince McMahon where McMahon told him that he did indeed have a WrestleMania match after chasing one for the last few weeks. And he would just have to find out who his opponent was going to be while standing in the ring. And that's where I think WrestleMania starts. I think that will be the first match of the night will be Seth Rollins standing in the ring. We'll hear his entrance music, burn it down, and he'll be standing in the ring waiting for an opponent. And everyone knows that it's going to be Cody Rhodes, right? The return of Cody Rhodes to WWE after leaving AEW. And I think that in a master stroke of just classic heel play, you're going to get to hear Shane McMahon's entrance music first. And the crowd is going to go berserk. They're going to hate it. And I am going to love it. Because, guys, I like the heels. I want the bad guys to win every match. They're not going to win every match this WrestleMania, but they are going to see a few things happen. And we might see a couple of heel turns and might even see a face turn at WrestleMania. So let's get right to the matches and start with Saturday. Again, I said Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, I think, will start off WrestleMania 38. And, of course, I think Cody Rhodes has to win this match. It's not going to be a good look because Seth Rollins will be on quite a bit of a losing streak. But I think Rhodes has to go over in his first match back in the WWE in, I think, 8 years. Second up, I think that it's not going to be the match itself. It's going to be what happens after the match between the Mysterios, Ray and his son Dominic, taking on The Miz and Logan Paul. First off, being a guy who loves the heels, I am a huge fan of The Miz. Is there a bigger heel in wrestling? Not really. He has got this down to a master craft. People spend their hard-earned money just to come and boo The Miz, and that takes talent. He's teaming up with Logan Paul, who just everybody thinks that guy's just got a real punchable face. I'd have to agree. A lot of people think that what's going to happen here is that at the end of this match, Dominic is going to turn on his father, Ray, and turn heel himself. But I think it's going to go in a different direction. I think Ray is going to turn on his son, Dominic. And we'll finally be fed up with the mistakes that Dominic makes that cost him matches sometimes. And I think Ray's going to snap. It's going to be Ray and not Dominic who turns heel on Saturday. After that, we got the fatal four-way women's match. I believe that's for the tag titles, yeah. And we've got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I've got winning that match. But rumor has it that a couple of girls that have been on the shelf for a while now, and that would be Asuka and Bayley, might be making their return, and they might throw their hat in the ring, and maybe they'll walk out of there with gold on Saturday night. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs against the Usos on Saturday night. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. I love Nakamura, but I just do not get the Boogs character. Don't get it. Don't dig it. It's boring to me. It's generic, and I don't like it, and I don't think it's anchor on Nakamura. They need to break up that team and let that guy show what he can do as a singles competitor. So I think they will win, though, become the new tag team champions. No, check that. Look at that. Wrote it down myself and still read it wrong. The Usos are going to win. because it's going to be a big night for the Bloodline, or a big couple of nights. So the Usos are going to pick up a victory on Saturday night over Nakamura and Boogs. It's got to be Boogs that counts the lights and takes the 3 count there, though. It has to be. Drew McIntyre against Baron Corbin coming up here. There's a lot of people who think that there will be a Madcap Moss heel turn. I think that's impossible because no one can ever like Baron Corbin. He's unlikable. He's just unlikable. He has to be a heel. If anything, it'll be Corbin that will turn Moss face by turning on him the other way around. But either way, Drew McIntyre will get the pinfall victory there because apparently they have big plans for Drew after WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. Up next, let's see, where are we going there? Oh, Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch. Now, when Becky Lynch returned to WWE and just smashed Bianca Belair and took the title in like 37 seconds and took a lot of credit away from Bianca Belair and made her look less legitimate as a champion. It was a real shame. But Bianca Belair has gotten the upper hand in this return feud, and so there's no other way that this match can end than with Bianca Belair walking out as the new Raw Women's Champion. A couple more matches to go on Saturday night. The question is, how will the night end? New Day against Sheamus and this Ridge Holland character that I could care less about. But Big E getting hurt and getting his neck broke is going to put a different spin on this match. So of course the New Day would have to win. Now this is where things get tricky because doing anything other than having a championship match at the end of a pay-per-view is ridiculous. But in this instance, I think that it would be the absolute wrong move to put Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair on last on Saturday night. It would just be a bad look. You don't want anybody walking out of WrestleMania when the match prior is over. And that was what would happen if you put the KO show on before Rousey and Flair. We'll get to the KO show in just a bit, but Ronda Rousey is going to win this match. The question is, how competitive is it going to be? Is she just going to smash Charlotte Flair, which would be a bad look as well? Charlotte Flair is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, and this needs to be a competitive match to make Rousey look more legitimate as a champion. But apparently, it's the plans are to keep the belts on Rousey and to put the belt back on Lynch prior to WrestleMania next year. And maybe the women will have their own unification match because everyone wanted Rousey and Lynch this year. And I think that it was a good move by Vince McMahon to tease it for an entire year and give us Rousey and Lynch next year at WrestleMania. So ending the night on Saturday night, boy, I got to tell you, my favorite wrestler when I was a kid, my dad's favorite wrestler when I was a kid, everybody's favorite wrestler was Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was just absolutely over like no one ever has been. The storyline with Austin and McMahon is classic. It's the stuff that writers dream of coming up with these days. And Kevin Owens, I love this guy as a heel. I love this guy as a face. This guy needs to be in the main event every Monday night. Kevin Owens is legit. He's my favorite guy going right now since Samoa Joe's not doing it anymore. But the KO show will go on last on Saturday night, and expect some physicality from Stone Cold. Now, I think, because of the timeless tradition of wrestling is that you always put over the next generation before you hang up your boots. You pass it on to the next generation. Everybody's done it. You count the lights for the next guy. Undertaker's done it. All of the greats have done it. And I know that everybody wants to come back and they want to see Stone Cold come back and give Kevin Owens a classic Stone Cold Stunner. And I'm telling you, I know that it will happen. But I think that Austin knows that part of what he's got to do here is give Kevin Owens the rub and let Owens go over here and let him be the one standing tall at the end of the night and Austin be the one not able to continue, and he's 56, so you got to look at the ramifications of what does it look, how does it make Kevin Owens look long-term if you have a 56-year-old man beat him. Not saying he's not going to take a beating. Austin's going to dish out a can of whoop ass, and Owens is going to take it because he's a consummate professional. But I think it would be a master stroke if Austin realizes that it's he never got to do it in his career the way it ended. And so maybe part of the reason why he's going to come back and get in the ring on Saturday night is to do that, is to give the rub to the next guy. He's already given Owens permission to use the stunner, and he does it very well. And so I think WrestleMania Night 1 ends with Kevin Owens standing tall. So that's it for Night 1. WrestleMania being split up into 2 nights, I love it. I like this because you can get a fuller card. There's more storylines that can develop because let's face it, some of these storylines, by the time you get to the 5th and 6th week, you're running out of contracts to sign and locker rooms to invade and all that. Being able to shift the focus onto other storylines and letting them develop a little bit more, it does nothing but like we've said it before here at the barn, we'll say it again. The rising tide raises all the ships. So night 2 is not as stacked as the first night as far as the number of matches, but there are some. I think the match of the night is going to happen on night 2, and it's not the main event. I think leading off the second night, probably with hopefully, I'd like to see Vince come out and start off night 2 because he's got this huge investment in Austin Theory, but he's taking on Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, as an announcer, I can hear his passion for this sport in his voice when he's talking about it, and I really, really dig it. It's refreshing, and even having Vince in his ear all the time, he still does what he can do. But he can't win this match. He's not a wrestler. He's an announcer. So Austin Theory, if you're going to have any kind of push for him in the future, besides getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar every once in a while, he's got to get the win here. But being the heel, he can cheat to win. And I hope he does get some help. And Vince McMahon, holds on to McAfee's, legs or something like that and helps Theory pick up the victory there. The next match that I have on night 2 is what I think is going to be, if there's a WrestleMania moment that comes out of WrestleMania 38, it's going to be from this match, AJ Styles versus Edge. When TNA was a thing, I used to think about, well, what could be if some of these guys were in WWE? But I thought that the only guys that could really ever make it in the WWE was Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. But I never pegged AJ as being more than an Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion kind of guy. And I am happy to admit that I was wrong about that. That guy is not, they call him the phenomenal AJ Styles, and there's a reason. That guy is awesome. And he has totally integrated himself into the WWE and into that style of wrestling and into that that way of marketing yourself. From the moment they played his music at the Royal Rumble, and Roman Reigns had a look on his face like, who is this? And when you realize that it was AJ Styles, he is pure WWE through and through. It's like he's always been there, and he fits right in. And Edge, this is a dream match, something that people have talked about for a long time. And then when Edge had to retire, they thought would never happen. And so they're going to go at it. They're going to go at it hard. The Edge heel turn I thought was kind of unnecessary, but Edge is such a great heel, so it was the obvious move. But a lot of people looking for Edge to win this match, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be AJ Styles. This is going to be his WrestleMania moment. This is going to be the moment that's on the commercial for WrestleMania forever. It's going to come from this match. This is what, if anybody remembers anything from this WrestleMania, it's going to be Austin on the KO show, and it's going to be AJ Styles versus Edge. Up next, we got Jackass Johnny Knoxville taking on Sami Zayn. And man, does Johnny Knoxville know how to poke a tiger. Man, the things that he's done. He hired a plane that flew over the city of Los Angeles with Sami Zayn's phone number on it. He's still getting phone calls for it. So he's doing the Jackass type stuff, and it's just pissing Sami Zayn off. Celebrities usually fare pretty well in WrestleManias. I look at Johnny Knoxville as being able to hold his own for a little while, but Sami Zayn has to win this match, and because the wrestlers got to let the celebrities know not to cross that line and that's their yard. So it'll be fun. I'm sure that Knoxville will have his moments. He'll get a couple pops from the crowd. This is one of those matches where I think some people might go get some popcorn or maybe refill their beers, maybe pick up a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt. And so, but Sami Zayn has to win. And, man, they need to do something with Sami. That is a major talent that's just kind of sitting on the shelf, treading water. He can do so much more. Up next, the tag team triple threat. It's going to be the Street Profits. They'll be bringing the smoke. I'll be smoking while I'm watching the WrestleMania. And it'll be the Alpha Academy, who I could give two shits about. Those guys, they do nothing. They do nothing for me against RK Bro. Everybody knows the story of how unlikely, it's the WWE's odd couple, Randy Orton and Riddle. Sometimes I got to tell you, I want to RKO Riddle myself. But Randy is just, he's in his, he's, on the downside of his career, of course. It's funny, like a lot of Randy's contemporaries, like Cena's and the like have run off to Hollywood, and Randy's still doing this and doing it at an elite level. And so, I won't say cruise control, but Randy is enjoying himself right now, and you can really tell. And the tag team belts look good on RK Bro. They're more popular than ever. The goal when they put them together was to have them break up and to be wrestling a singles match at this WrestleMania. But it's too much of a good thing. It's still not, it hasn't gotten old yet. You're not hoping for a heel turn. And I got to tell you, the end game with RK Bro, I hope that it ends with a Riddle heel turn on Orton and not the other way around. Randy Orton once tried to fuck my girlfriend. He was a champion. She said, "What should I do?" I said, "I think you should fuck him." But it ended up not happening, and we were all disappointed that night. RK Bro, more popular than ever. They have to walk out of WrestleMania with the tag team belts. Bobby Lashley is going to step up and be the one who takes on Omos. And Omos, this singles run is not going to work. This match is it's either going to be a squash one way or another. I don't see it going more than a couple of minutes, but it's got to be Lashley because you have to have long-term plans that involve Bobby Lashley, and they can't involve him losing to Omos at WrestleMania. And that would position him. He would be in a great position at the end of the night because his match would be right before the main event. And I don't know if they're really going to unify these belts or if that's something they're just talking to get eyes on the event. I can't see them having one champion working both Raw and SmackDown. But Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, it's gonna be all. I think it's gonna be a great match. Lesnar is doing his best work right now, and who knew that Brock Lesnar smiling would be his best work? Not me. Didn't see that coming. But I have loved all of what Roman Reigns has done since his heel turn. Like a year and a half ago now, since he's been back and taken on the role of the head of the table, aligned himself with Paul Heyman and then aligned himself with him again. The storyline is deep. These guys want to get after each other. They've been wanting to do it for a long time, and at WrestleMania 38, we'll find out. And it's going to be a good match. But Roman Reigns is going to end up solidifying himself as the best in the game today, the best in the game for the last few years, and the best in the game looking forward. I don't know what the plans are with Brock Lesnar moving forward. He'll probably be taking a break after WrestleMania. That's usually what he does, like he did with Drew McIntyre. He's here to put over Roman Reigns. Like Roman Reigns needs that rub? No, not at all. He is at the top of his game. It will be nice to see WrestleMania start on Saturday night with Seth Rollins from The Shield, and ending on Sunday night with Roman Reigns from The Shield as still your WWE champion and now undisputed champion. Not the first undisputed champion because that was Y2J, Chris Jericho. That's a good spot to wrap things up. I just went back to 2001. So let's stop there before I start dating myself and start talking about the NWO, who might make a WrestleMania appearance and maybe pay tribute to the bad guy, Scott Hall, who passed away. And wow, talk about classic heels. That was one of the best heels in the game. Scott Hall understood wrestling on a level that a lot of people never will. And it was neat to watch him do what he did in the ring in the 90s. Now, again, we're wrapping things up. I got to go watch WrestleMania. You guys enjoy the show. Let us know what you think. You got predictions? Post them. Comments below. Like the barn, we've got a lot of content coming up for you. Chad is doing a great job sitting in the chair I'm sitting in right now. I'm just keeping it warm for him. until we've got more content coming up for you. So stay tuned. We've got a Masters preview coming up. Looking forward to that. More Girl Dad, more Vulgar. Just stay tuned. The Barn.
Want a shot at the title. I'm in my knuckleball prime. My dogs are tired, but they still got fight. I won't hang it out, boys. Not this time. I'm hitting all the corners, gonna shed some light. When she hits that note, boys, it's all done. Oh, I'm gonna win this one. Oh, here I come. It's been a hell of a road, boys.